Please let me know once you can see my screen. Okay. So Kalyani, yesterday we have discussed about error handling. Let's whenever some error comes into SQL, how we are going to handle it. So for error handling, we have these two. We have try and catch. So this particular try and catch is used everywhere. Even if you go for Java, C++, even everywhere, this particular try catch we are using. So initially what we did, we tried to create a SP, and we try to create a SP where we are giving the two different integers, and using that integer what we are doing, we are dividing that and returning it somewhere in the output. Okay, then we when we try to run this particular command, here you could see, when we try to run this particular command, here you could see it is showing that could okay, so not okay. So when you try to run this particular SP, and here we are getting some error. Okay, so basically if if I okay, so here you could see that I am getting a error where we cannot divide any value with the 0, and that is what we are doing. We are giving 1 and trying to divide it by 0. So it is a kind of error. Then what we did, we created another SP and keep that this particular command into try and catch, because we know that हमें पता है, we know that the the error can occur in these two in this particular line. Okay, and then what we did, we try to catch the error, whatever error we are getting, we try to catch it in another block called begin and catch. And what is the usage of this is that any errors occurs in between a try block, it will directly comes to catch block. Okay, and here we can show the we can show the error line where it is failing, and what is in what procedure it is failing, what is the error severity, what is the error state, or on which line it is failing. We are doing that. Okay, so that is why we have written the this particular code. And when we try to again run it, here you could see that now this particular message is not failing. Now this particular command is not failing, it is showing something else as an output. Okay, so today what we will do, we will create we will we will create we will create a log error log table. Okay, and in that error log table, whatever error we are getting, we try to store the error log into this particular table. Okay, hope you understood that. So yes, so let's try to create a table, and the main purpose of that audit table is to store all the error message. Okay, so what we are doing, I'm just creating a table. Create. I'm just creating a table and naming it as create table, and naming it as error audit table. Okay, error audit table, and all the error messages will be stored here. Let's check what else we need. We want the error ID. Okay, so whatever records is being loaded here, we want the error ID, identity 1 comma 1, and we want the error message varchar max. So all the error messages will be stored here. We also want the error state. What is the state of the error? Error state varchar. So error state, we will keep it as int. Okay. And what else we need? We also want these few things. Okay. We want the error severity. We want the okay. We want the error procedure. We want error messages. So error message we have already taken. I'm just deleting it from here. We want the error date time, and I'm just making it as default and giving the default as get date time, get date. So it will load the data here. Now I will create another column called created by, that is var 50, and by default I am giving it as as user sname. Okay, so this is one thing. Let's create this. So I have created this particular table, and now let's try to alter this particular SP itself. Okay, I'm just taking this particular SP. Okay, and I will insert everything. So I will insert insert these data, insert into this particular table, error audit file. Okay, so I will write it as insert into error audit file and alt F1. This is the columns I have, so I want the data here for this part. Okay, so we have the error state, so we will take error state here. We want the error state here, comma, error state, error severity, error line, then error procedure and error message. Okay, insert into error table where so when we again alter this particular table, you could see that this is being created, and now I'm just trying to again rerun this query. Okay, if I try to rerun this query and execute it, here you could see that all the data is being, here you could see it is showing one row is affected, means now the data is being stored here from error audit. What is the table name? We have error audit table, and here we can see that all the errors, that the error id is 1, error state is 1, error severity is 16, it is failed on line number 8, and which what is failing, the this particular sp procedure is failing, and the error message is divided by 0 and it is created on this. So this is how we apply the error handling into our databases. Okay, so in multiple tables we use this particular error handling, so that if any of the table or insertion will fail, we will insert. So there is another concept called raise error. Okay, raise error. So raise error is one of the other concept where we will manually, like when we want to raise some custom errors, we will be doing this. Okay, okay, for custom errors we will be doing this particular using this particular raise error. So let's see the example for raise error. Before that, I just want you to show you one, just a minute please. Okay, so let's suppose, let's write a query. Okay, write. So what I will be doing, I will write an SP to add add this personal info. So add data in personal info. Okay, so first, so I'm writing a query to add personal infos here. Okay, and if I let me check whether we have the primary key or not. No, we do not have identity here. So let's, okay, so let's try to create an SP, and in this particular SP create procedure insert sp underscore personal. This will be the name of our sp ins. We are trying to insert something. Okay, so, and we will be inserting few records where we will be inserting employee id, first name, last name, email and phone number. Okay, so what we will do, we will use this particular, and we will, this will be our parameter. So for employee id it will be int, the first name will, I want it as varchar 100. Okay, so let's, this is the, okay, as begin. Right. So I want to check that I want to write an SP to add a personal info, and I also want to check that if some employee ID with this, if that employee ID exists. Okay, if that employee ID exists, raise error. Okay, so basically write a SP for to add a data into personal ID if the employee ID exists, raise an error. Okay, because we cannot have employees IDs with the same, we cannot have employee with the same employee ID. Okay, so let's try to run this query. Insert that, to insert into personal info, and if we try to run this particular alt F1, do you understand the requirement, Ashley? That what is the requirement we want? Okay. So Kalyani, I know Kalyani is here or not? She left. Okay, Ashley, you are able to understand this, ना? Okay, ठीक है. तो let's suppose मुझे ना एक ये personal info में data डालना है, and I'm selecting everything from this particular. Let's suppose I'm trying to insert some values, and what I will do, I will I will map these these variables. So basically अपन यही variables डालना चाहते हैं ना वहाँ पे. So at the rate employee ID. Hope you understood that what I'm saying. First name at the rate last name at the rate email. Sorry, email and phone number. And see, if we also want to check, अगर मैं इसको अगर run कर दूँ, this will run whatever command, whatever data will give, it will insert it. But according to my requirement, if that is if this particular employee ID exists there in this particular personal info table, it should fail. Correct? This is what we want. So let's try to first run this. Okay, so if I run it, and if I say it like sp underscore, let's see. So if you want to insert, let's suppose this is, I want to, let's try to insert this first one, 100 Stephen King, same idea. Okay, so if I want to insert this and give Rahul and Kumar, and the email ID will be somewhere k dot Kumar. Okay, and the phone number is this. Okay, let's check this out. So now if we try to insert it, it will insert the value. Correct? So there will be no issues if I try to run it. You can see that this will be inserted. 100 will also be the varchar. Okay, it has inserted the value. And now if we check that, see, we have this particular 100 again, but in the last, what happened? Can you see 100 somewhere else? It got inserted or not? Yes, this is the int. It's an int. And what is the data type here? Data type is int varchar. Okay, anyway, it should be inserted. Oh shit. So what I have done, I have just given this now. Now if I try to insert it, one row affected, and if I try to see here, you can see that I have the data here in the last for 100, but ultimately this is wrong. Correct? Okay, let's try to write this into a try catch. Begin try and what we will do, we will check if select top one from in personal info where employee. Okay, what I'm writing a check command basically, where employee ID is equal to at the rate employee ID. Okay, if this exists, so what we will do, we will raise an error. So for raising an error, just a notice. Okay, if this is equal to 1, basically it, see, if I run it like, let's suppose we have the ID is 100, and if we run it, it will give the output as 1. So like stop one for personal info and control, it will give the value 1. If it is equal to 1, means it is an error. Okay, and then what we will do, we will use this particular raise error, and first what we need to do, we need to give the message. So the message we will give it as employee ID already exists. Okay, this is the error message, and we are keeping the severity. Severity is basically what I am talking about, that 11 is basically indicates that this given object, like we have to give the severity also. The third is the severity and the state. So I'm taking state as 1. So let's talk, we will talk further about severity and state. So let's check that. Okay, once, if this already, it will raise an error, and then it will go to try block. Correct? So we have begun the try, then we have to end try, and then we have to begin catch. Understood? End catch. Now what we will do, we will use the same command which we have used for this, like we will be storing this data here in this particular error table. Okay, so what we are doing, okay, so what we are doing, we are just storing this particular data into this particular error table. Okay, and this will, so if I again alter this particular table sp, and what I need to do, just I need to execute it. So here you could see, okay, raise error, something is missing here. What a incomplete syntax. whether the syntax is correct only. Okay. So in this particular SP, what I have done, I have just created another. Just a minute, I'm just deleting it. So in this particular SP, what I'm doing, I'm just selecting if the person, if that employee ID already, if that employee ID, whatever employee ID we are giving, if that already exists in the database, it will raise an error and it will load that error into this particular error audit file. Okay, actually. Okay, so let's try to execute this particular personal SP, and we have this particular we have tried to exist. Okay, so as you can already see that select star from personal info. Okay, and in this personal info, what we are doing, we are checking for 100. So 100 is already available for Stephen King, and 100 is also available for, because earlier we haven't put any validation, that is why we are able to add this. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm just trying to execute this SP again and check whether it is okay. One row is affected, and we will check this particular data into this particular error. Select star from error audit table. Okay. And here you could see that in this personal info, it raised an error and it is showing that employee ID already exists. But when we try to run it, it is showing a one row affected. It means we will think that it is already like it is not throwing any error. That is what we think, correct? So in spite of that, what we can do, we can again raise an error here. We can raise an error here. We can raise this particular raise errors. Okay, we will raise this error, and okay, so we am adding this raise error also, so that a red sign will be shown here. Okay, so now if I try to again alter this particular command and again rerun it, here you could see that it is showing some error and stating that employee ID already exists. Along with that, what is happening, it is also loading a data where it shows that employee ID is already exists. So this is how we create custom errors. Okay, let's suppose we have to add a mm, we have to add values into a table, but somehow what happened, when we are inserting a record, we are not able to insert it. So there we can check whether that particular record got inserted or not. Then if it is not got inserted, we will raise an error. Understood? So this is how we create custom errors into using this particular raise error command, where we are giving the error message and the severity and the error state. If we talk about this particular, yes, please, yes, huh. See, it is a totally this error handling is totally based on your requirement, whether you want any error to be logged in. जैसे मान लेते हैं, अगर आपके पास 100 लाइन्स का एसपी है, ओके, 1000 लाइन्स का एसपी है, सो वो 1000 लाइन के एसपी में आप कहाँ कहाँ जाओगे और चेक करोगे कौन सा कोड फेल कर रहा है और कहाँ पे इशू आ रहा है. So what we can do, we can put debug points there, and using that debug points, what we can do, we can also add try catch, and using that try catch we can raise error. Okay, so error handling वहाँ भी कर सकते हैं, debug करने समय भी error handling कर सकते हैं, है ना. So error handling is basically totally depends. Okay, yes, उससे टाइम बच जाएगा अपना, कि एग्जैक्टली कहाँ अपना कोड फेल कर रहा है ये भी पता चल जाएगा, है ना. जिसमें जिसमें अपन जैसे यहाँ अपन चेक कर रहे हैं कि अगर मान लेते हैं यहाँ पे, अगर हम लोग ये चेक करें कि इफ द इंसर्टेड रो काउंट इज नॉट इक्वल टू जीरो रहेगा, so there is a command called select @row count. एंड दिस रो काउंट क्या करता है, बेसिकली दिस रो काउंट क्या करता है, दैट अभी देखो, अभी मेरे एरर टेबल में कितने कितने 4 रिकॉर्ड्स थे, है ना. मैंने अभी एरर टेबल में 4, उसके जस्ट बाद मैं इसको रो काउंट रन कर रहा हूँ, तो क्या बोल रहा है, इट हैज 4 रिकॉर्ड्स. ओके, लेट्स सपोज इफ आई एम इंसर्टिंग समथिंग, मान लेते हैं, लेट मी ओपन दिस स्केली ड्रॉ. So let's suppose if we are inserting something, okay, inserting, एंड वाइल इंसर्शन क्या होता है कि अगर इंसर्ट करने समय देर इज टू केसेस, आइदर समथिंग गॉट इंसर्टेड और समथिंग डू नॉट गॉट इंसर्टेड. ओके, सम डेटा गॉट इंसर्टेड एंड यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, नो डेटा गॉट इंसर्टेड. ओके, सो अगर कुछ डेटा इंसर्ट हो रहा है, वी विल नॉट रेज एनी एरर. अब वो चेक कैसे करेंगे? तो अपन अपन ऐसे चेक कर सकते हैं, इफ एट द रेट रो काउंट इज ग्रेटर देन 1, ओके, या ग्रेटर देन 0, then we will not raise any error. Understood? And अगर ये सेम कमांड, कंट्रोल सी, अगर ये सेम कमांड फेल करता है, मान लेते हैं अगर इफ यहाँ, हाँ, इसमें क्या हो रहा है, इन दिस केस इफ इक्वल टू 0, yes, true. Okay, here it is true and here it is false. Okay, so इस केस में क्या हो रहा है, जब false हो रहा है एट द रेट कमांड, ये वाला false हो रहा है, और ये जब true रह रहा है तो ठीक है, मेरे एरर शो मत करो बिकॉज डेटा इंसर्ट हो गया. बट अगर मुझे चेक करना है कि वैसे ही मान लेते हैं बहुत सारा 1000 लाइन का कोड्स है, तो व्हाट वी कैन डू, वी कैन चेक यूजिंग दिस रो काउंट कि कौन सा कहाँ मेरा डेटा आ रहा है. अगर इफ यू चेक द रो काउंट कि ओके लास्ट इसमें मेरे 4 रिकॉर्ड्स आए, इट मींस इट इज वर्किंग फाइन एंड इट इज गेटिंग सम डेटा. फिर नेक्स्ट रिकॉर्ड में हो सकता है कुछ कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई ना हो, कुछ लाइन्स ऑफ कोड में कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई ना हो, तो it will not give any record, then your row count will become 0. correct? So we can debug there कि अच्छा मेरा कोड यहाँ पे फेल कर रहा है, यहाँ सेटिस्फाई नहीं कर रहा है, then we will start debugging this. तो ये रो काउंट का काम अपन ऐसे भी यूज कर सकते हैं. एंड अपन रो काउंट ये भी यूज कर सकते हैं कि अगर मान लेते मैंने कुछ ट्राई किया इंसर्ट करने का, लेट्स सपोज आई एम ट्राइंग टू इंसर्ट सम वैल्यूज इनटू अ टेबल एंड मैंने चेक किया कि मेरा एक्चुअल डेटा तो इंसर्ट हुआ ही नहीं, इट इज शोइंग सक्सेसफुल, बट माय एक्चुअल डेटा डू नॉट गॉट इंसर्टेड. लेट्स सपोज अगर 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 मैं यहाँ पे कुछ ऐसा कर दूँ, सपोज ये जैसे है ना यहाँ पे, तो व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल राइट दिस 1 जब ये 0 रहे, मतलब आई एम जस्ट चेंजिंग द कोड and I'm just showing the uses of row count. So what I'm writing another code and then इसमें क्या हो रहा है, इसमें अपन चेक कर रहे हैं अगर वो एम्प्लॉय आईडी नहीं होगा तो ये बिगिन ट्रांजेक्शन रन कर देना. बेसिकली आई एम राइटिंग बिगिन हियर, ओके, बिगिन एंड एंड. बेसिकली ये जो पूरा ट्रांजेक्शन है ना, कमिट ट्रांजेक्शन, ये पूरा ट्रांजेक्शन वाला पार्ट है, आई एम राइटिंग इट अंडर एंड. सो लेट्स सपोज अगर मेरा ये कमांड रन कर गया और वो एम्प्लॉय आईडी एग्जिस्ट करता है, तो ये तो नहीं चलेगा, दिस कोड विल नॉट एग्जीक्यूट, है ना. सो द नेक्स्ट स्टेप व्हाट वी कैन डू, वी कैन जस्ट चेक इफ एट द रेट रो काउंट इज इक्वल टू 0. अगर इक्वल टू 0 है, व्हाट यू विल डू, यू विल रेज सम एरर, you will raise an error. Okay, we'll raise an error and we will say employee id exists. Okay, and 16 comma 1, ये यहाँ पे रेज हो जाएगा. करेक्ट. लेट्स चेक whether it is working or not. So what we will do, we will again alter this particular execute, control R, and then let's try to insert it. So here also if I run it, here you could see that it is again raising error, मतलब means that code is running, means क्या हो रहा है, it will check whether that particular employee exists, it says okay it exists, and then this particular command is not running and nothing is got inserted, and it will check if anything is inserted. row count में कुछ आया तो that is saying no, row count में कुछ नहीं आया, अगर कुछ नहीं आया तो raise an error. So how beneficial this is if you use this, correct? Okay, so this is how we use this particular custom error handling. Any questions so far, controllers? I will save this as okay. So this is all about custom error handling, Ashley. Okay, now today I have to start this particular scanning and seeking. Basically I gonna start this particular index allocation mapper क्या होता है और कैसे अपन optimization करते हैं. I'm going to start that, but I guess I should wait for next weekend to come. If someone will come, okay, then otherwise I will start this particular index allocation mapper. Is it okay for you?